Hi, I'm Claudio Poses, artist for Dungeons & Dragons and The Witcher RPG, and you're listening to Morrus Unofficial Tabletop RPG Talk.
This week, Morrus and PJ discuss what system to use for an alien RPG other than Alien. In the news, a look at the Cosmere RPG Beta rules. Welcome to the Night Vale RPG crowdfunding has been announced. Deborah Ann Woll teaches Jon Bernthal D&D and more. This week on Morrus's Unofficial Tabletop RPG Talk.
The podcast this week is sponsored by Bertram and Sons, the best lawyers in town. I hereby warrant that this is my honest opinion, and that I am not contractually obliged to make this claim, having no binding relationship with the company in question, and that I, the undersigned— Oh, wait, I wasn't supposed to read that last bit, was I? Never mind. Bertram and Sons are the best. Definitely.
All the tabletop role-playing news, we aim to amuse and we aim to enthuse. And Morrus's Unofficial Tabletop RPG
Hello, and welcome to Morrus's Unofficial Tabletop RPG Talk. I am Russ, aka Morrus, or Morrus, aka Russ, and with me this week is
PJ Coffee from the Southampton Guild of Roleplayers. Russ has it. It is a delight to be here. Alas, alack, sad and unfortunate day. For I understand that even as we speak, she is in Wales playing Hero Quest.
Oh, in Wales. I thought she was in a whale.
No, you made that joke
that
last
makes
time.
much more sense.
Yes, it's Jess Hancock, not Jonah. And she is out and about teaching, indoctrinating the young into the way of geekdom. But she's not here, which is going to add a certain sadness. And it may lead to...
But we'll struggle on.
We'll struggle on. Try and make do. I think we did used to do it, just two of us. Back in the old days.
Yeah, many years ago.
When all this were fields.
Yes. Okay. Right. Okay. How's your week been, by the way?
Yeah, it's been quite peachy, actually. My players foolishly ventured into an extremely high-level area because they had some sort of magic map that let them go to wherever they like. And there was a big marking on the map saying Fae Castle. So they went there.
Why wouldn't you go to the Fae Castle?
Yeah.
I know the Fae Castle of which you speak.
Yes. There was a certain amount of, yes, okay. Well, let's end the session there and I'll get back to you. And there has been a certain amount of furious rewriting. But yeah, I like my own stuff better. I've made it my own story, so that's good. But so they ended up playing games, including a three-legged race where a pair of ogres and a small child strapped to one of their legs. The centaur, who had both their front feet tied together, was definitely maybe not doing the best, but that's okay. Everyone participated.
That does sound awkward.
Yeah, yes, and they had a lovely game of Constellations, which is a game of using dancing lights to tell a story as a four-person team. So yeah, let's go there, and we're successful. So yeah, that in terms of that, my week has been fantastic.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yes, how's your week been?
It's been quiet. I'm quite looking forward to next week, though.
Next week? What's happening next week?
Well, it's my wedding, not just my wedding anniversary, because that would be weird. It's our wedding anniversary, not yours and mine and my wife's wedding anniversary.
I admire your grasp of pronouns, Ressis, so definitely improved.
Yes. Yep. And yes, so we're going out for dinner. We're going to go and see Alien, Romulus, which we're looking forward to very much.
You'll have to let me know if it's good, because...
Well, I have been disappointed.
Yes.
Many times over.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, so far there are still only 2 Alien films.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Alien and Aliens, obviously.
Yeah.
Alien 3, Alien 4, nope. Alien Covenant, Alien Prometheus, nope. All the Aliens versus Predators, nope.
Fair enough.
So there's 2 Alien films so far. I'm hoping this will be the 3rd Alien film.
I think I may have slightly more in the canon than you, but okay.
I suppose... I don't know.
It looks fun. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, it looks like they've distilled it back down to the core concept again, which I think it works best as that. When you try and complicate it too much, I think that kind of takes away from it.
They're definitely leaning back more on horror rather than their action horror roots. But this, it feels, from what I've seen, which is very little trailers, etc., no spoilers,
basically,
is it appears to be going more the slasher horror route rather than the gothic horror route, which the original Alien did so very well.
Well, the original Alien had one alien.
Yes.
This one, just from what I'm getting from the trailers, has multiple aliens.
Yes.
But not as many as in Aliens, which has loads of aliens. Yeah.
So many aliens. Yeah. Xenomorphs for days. Yeah. Okay.
So, that made me start thinking, right,
really?
If you were going to play Alien in an RPG,
right?
Obviously, there's the official Alien RPG from Free League, so we can say
I'm not
obviously
sure
that's on the list.
I mean, I am renowned, and rightly, for my ability to create heritages for A5E, but I would really struggle to create an Alien one with the full Xenomorph flavour.
Yeah, it's more a monster than a heritage, I think.
Have I misunderstood your clever?
If you were going to play
an Alien
campaign,
a campaign
game,
set in the Alien,
not
box.
Play an Alien.
I mean, you're
I felt
at me.
that was obvious, but
You
still,
look at me
okay.
as though that's obvious. And it's like, have you played RPGs?
Okay.
Okay.
Let me start again.
Again.
If you were to play
an
Alien game, an Alien campaign,
right,
an Alien adventure,
right, Reggie, yes.
What RPGs could do that well?
I can think of at least 5.
Let's go then.
Dread, number 1, straight off the top of the list.
Yeah, if you want a very narrative version of Alien.
That's going to give you a lot of excitement. I would say probably Blaze in the Dark could give you a lot of the heist-like feel.
Yeah, I don't know if it does the tension so well.
Okay, fair enough. So you'd want to have something to ramp up the tension.
Right.
You could use basic role-playing.
Yeah.
Well,
that's certainly on the sort of statistical point of view, especially if you use the Cthulhu model, it definitely does the you don't stand a chance.
Yeah, you're looking to fail and fail and
yeah.
More modern games. I think you mentioned earlier when we were having our little chat pre-podcast, because we're not entirely just making this up. But the Mothership RPG, that was very good. An excellent
well, I haven't played it yet, but I'm hoping to play it in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and if one wanted to go with aliens, as in plural, and absolute tons of aliens to mow down, then we've got stuff like Savage Worlds. And maybe you could do, because you know what I'm like.
I feel like Savage Worlds is a bit too heroic for aliens, to be
honest. I hear what you say, but it's like if you throw enough there, it could be good. But if you want to tone it down a bit and have something quite good, you could say blend Dark Heresy, that old Cubicle 7 game, and my mind has gone completely blank. Dark Heresy, and Deathwatch. Use the enemies from Deathwatch and the Tyranids from there, and a bit of Dark Heresy. And I think that'll go in quite nicely. You've even got a range of archetypes and stereotypes to play around with. Bantech priests and maybe psychers, maybe. And away you go.
And also, of course, the official Alien RPG from 3D.
Yeah, they got one as well, don't they?
They got one as well.
Which I know you do like. They've got that tension mechanic. Very strong. Very strong.
Yeah. Or you could just do D&D 5e like everyone wants to do.
You could. Or if you want to do that sort of science fiction, I think I understand there are things like Voidrun's Codex, Espergenesis, sci-fi setting. Not my first choice, I will say, but
it's too heroic for the Alien setting, I think.
Well, I think a lot of that's going to be how you run it, because who would have thought that Ravenloft would work?
Yeah, but Ravenloft still isn't scary.
Is it not? Okay, fair enough.
Not really. I mean, you are still D&D characters.
You are still D&D
And at
characters.
the end, you do fight a vampire basically by fighting him and beating him to death.
Well,
which
that is
in traditional D&D style, it's...
Yeah. That's 5e Curse of Strahd, but what about like your OG Ravenloft setting? Domains of Dread and so forth?
Yeah.
I mean, hell, you could use OSR, maybe. Stars Without Number. Where's my head at? That I've left
Stars Without Number, yes, absolutely.
What am I like?
You could definitely do it in Stars Without Number.
Yeah, and you'd have a great time. And speaking as someone who does enjoy running away and hiding from things, and occasionally like bushwhacking them, with overwhelming force, I would have a great time in that game.
I wonder if you could do it with a Traveller. Probably do it with a Traveller.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's like 2d6. Yeah. Very little chance of success. What could go wrong?
Yeah.
I suppose... Would you want to... Like, you wouldn't be able to do Aliens, but you could maybe have a go at the gothic horror of Alien with Monster of the Week.
Yeah, I think it's basically made for that, pretty much. Yeah?
Yeah, I'd say more like of a Buffy version.
And that's a little more sort of slightly investigative, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's not just survival horror. It's
Yeah, you'd have something where like the alien is in like say like a
space
tower
station.
block. Yeah, tower blocks, but tower block in space. And you've got an alien creeping around and getting up to no good, and you'll just try to sort it out.
Yeah, at first you start off with people are getting killed and you're not sure how or what, or disappearing.
Because
they drag them off, don't they?
Yeah,
Cocoon them.
Yeah. So yeah, you've got like a semi-abandoned, like a space station in the process of being decommissioned. Large sections of it are maybe in the vacuum or low pressure, or just not suitable for human habitation. Kind of like there's the idea for Babylon 5 before they were like, oh, actually, we'll just use it.
I think we've just written the next Alien film.
Well, maybe. I understand there's more to it than just having the idea.
Well, I don't know. Some films these days, there isn't that much more to it.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
Towards evidence.
So I suppose, in conclusion,
yes,
there's lots of games you could run.
Yeah,
for Alien.
It depends upon the exact what you feel comfortable with.
What tone you want, basically, and how gnarly you want it to get.
Yeah, like sort of tones. I mean, what game would you definitely relate?
I don't think I'd use 5e.
No.
Characters don't feel... Unless, I don't know, first-level characters do, I suppose. If everyone was a first-level character. And the alien was like CR5 or something, maybe.
At that point, I'm like, well, just use DCC, Dungeon Crawl Classics.
I think the point is...
That would make a great fun adventure.
You can't really get into a fight with it.
No.
Because if you can get into a fight with it and win, that takes away...
a lot of the scariness, yeah.
Yes. So therefore, you want a system which is... I suppose you do want a more narrative system. You want a system that's more about investigation or survival. Yeah. Well, rather than straight-up fights.
Whereas shooting Blaze in the Dark, but the more general powered by the apocalypse, then you could probably do a hack of that. I'm not as au fait as Jess is, because she knows all of the most modern storytelling games, because that's what the Not D&D podcast is for. Do you have any thoughts? Because you've been playing all sorts of wacky games in the Not D&D on Wednesdays?
Yeah, a lot of them, well, I mean, my main observation for that is a lot of indie games are very similar to each other. there's a lot of them that use 2d6.
Wow.
But to be fair, there are thousands of indie games, so I've probably played sort of a dozen.
Yeah.
So, that's a broad statement, but...
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is like you're going to be pilloried at the next convention you go to. He said they're all the same. I use this 2d6 plus 1. I use this 3d6.
Yeah.
Actually, that's the point. Would you use GURPS?
I don't know.
I'm not hugely familiar with it. It's quite simple to run. The devil is, as they say, in the details, and that was very much the same.
Maybe for an Aliens rather than Alien, because you can get bogged down in the equipment and stuff, which is kind of part of the fun of Aliens, isn't it?
I do like a bit of shopping. That's good. What about the Awfully Cheerful engine? Would you run a game of Aliens using the Awfully Cheerful engine?
I mean...
If it was like, thematically, it might not fit.
It wouldn't be scary. If you wanted a comedy cartoon Alien, I suppose.
Okay, yeah.
But...
what about
Awfully Cheerful engine doesn't do tension. That's one thing I will say. It does not do tension.
No, it doesn't do tension. What about Paranoia? I've only ever played it as a comedy.
Though, isn't it?
I've only played it full goof, but, I suppose you could add a bit of tension to the goof because you're trying to track down an alien, which at least is...
But I think most of the things that stand out about Paranoia are the setting and the goofiness.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the mechanics that you remember, is it? It's the concept.
So that's another one not to run Aliens with.
No, I don't think I would.
Don't use your Awfully Cheerful engine to run Aliens, and don't use Paranoia to run Aliens. We think you'll be sad.
No.
And don't use 5e.
I'd probably use What Soldiers Do.
Yeah, that would work.
In fact, we've got an alien-themed adventure, The Fall of Somerset Landing.
Yes,
and that works pretty well.
We've covered that on this very podcast.
Yeah. So I'd use that, I think.
I mean, God, you've got an adventure for it and everything.
Yeah. The one thing with like Alien and Alien themed campaigns is they're not. I don't think it really lends itself to a long campaign.
No.
You are probably talking one shots, I think.
Yeah.
Because basically, if it's you're all going to die. Otherwise, it's not Alien, is it?
Indeed. Yeah. I mean, I guess that got me back to thinking about Death Watch, which is a place that I will occasionally go. Death Watch, good times. It's Space Marines and shooting stuff. And the concept of a bug hunt, which I came across from Aliens, I was like, I guess a bug hunt is where you're hunting down alien life forms. Nope. A bug hunt is just going and looking for nothing in particular. Now you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I never knew whether the colonial marines had met other alien life forms before or not. Because they do mention another bug hunt.
I know, right? I assumed that was what it meant. I mean, maybe I've just completely got it wrong. The throwaway line in Aliens that spawned decades of confusion. Okay. Looking through
I think it depends on whether you delve into books and comics and stuff. Because I think there probably is stuff in those.
Yeah. I think it's actually spawned a whole pile of stuff. Like what can I say? Seminal work. Yeah, that sounds interesting. Yeah.
Anyway, so lots of ways you could do Alien in RPGs, and I think I might want to sometime soon.
Oh, you know what? You could write your own.
I did. Fall of Sunset Landing.
Right. No, I meant you could write. Okay,
well,
I meant you, dear listener.
I contributed to that. I didn't write it. That's That's a bit annoying. Angus and Darren definitely had. Darren Pierce did the bulk of the writing on that one.
Yeah.
I fleshed it out.
Yeah, they did some editing. Always important. No, I was going for what I hoped would be a seamless, smooth segue into talking about the next thing that I would like us to talk about, which is a Sprinting Owl manual for making tabletop RPGs.
Ooh.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I haven't downloaded it because I have been super busy, but I saw it. I thought this would make for excellent discussion material on this podcast.
How long is this manual?
67 pages.
Ooh.
It's like it's on itch.io.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the table of contents for free. Hamsters as cogs in an unmanageable machine.
Mm-hmm.
Kin to fish and fowl. Braving the Great Logjam. Threshing the wheat. There's all sorts of interesting chapter titles. Not sure what they mean. Getting started to the other method didn't work. So I'm hoping there's some fun. The idea is not to be apparently a step-by-step assembly manual. It's Sprinting Owl, I guess.
I imagine people have different processes anyway, don't they?
Yeah.
Like, authors have different processes, and
absolutely. With like the most
artists have different processes. So game designers, I know what mine are like, but I don't know what others are like. But I imagine people have different processes.
Ignore it and then wake up and that's what the answer is. Let's go. That's been very reliable for me. Yeah, it's got elements that are for designing your own role-playing game. It's got uncertainty in its role, clarity, repetition, and clarity. Yeah, I mean, it looks kind of interesting. At $5, I should probably take a punt with it. Yeah, I think it's got various bits and bobs. It's got some extra pages from within. It's the art is black and white, and it's just talking about how it communicates. So if you're interested, and I do know a lot of game designers do enjoy listening to this podcast because we are almost de facto the game industry podcast, or the tabletop RPG game industry podcast. I don't know how we ended up here. Terrible.
There's a few D&D news podcasts now that have sprung up over the last few years.
Yeah, but they're not talking about the industry.
I'm not sure how many there are that cover the broader tabletop topic like we do.
Yeah, no, I know that there are other ones that talk about tabletop RPG news, but I do think that we do look at things like industry figures, like boring, mundane things like getting your books to your customers, and just that sort of thing, like the processes and challenges involved.
Yeah. I saw the other day.
What did you see the other day?
You know that their Punisher chap?
Not personally. He seems like he'd be a bad dude to know.
Man with a T-shirt with a skull on it and a lot of guns.
So many guns.
Mm-hmm. And you know that Karen Page?
Hank Castle? Who's Karen Page?
Karen Page is a character in Daredevil, played by Deborah Ann Woll. And the Punisher, of course, is also in Daredevil, played by Jon Bernthal.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And there is a quite charming video.
So, yeah. I've heard, I haven't seen it. What's it?
I have. It's
been very positive about it.
Yeah, so Deborah Ann Woll teaches Jon Bernthal how to play D&D. And it starts off, he's kind of like, I really don't know what D&D is or how it works.
Yeah.
And she sort of starts to explain it to him and then just sort of like eases him into an adventure. So, let's play one now then. And then eases him into an adventure.
Nah, that's how I
get
it.
And it's really charming. And do you know what? I think as a way to tell people what role-playing is, I don't think that would be a bad choice to showing them that video.
Yeah, okay.
I think he does a really good job of it.
Well, I will have to believe you. I haven't seen it, but
yeah. It's quite heartwarming. It's quite. It's a really nice watch.
Yeah.
It's a nice watch.
Yeah. So it sounds like he's being very charismatic, and he's interested but doesn't know too much about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So a good way to help people who haven't been that interested to find out more about it.
Yeah. I mean, she's a accomplished DM in her own right. And has done many sort of live streams and
and actual plays and so forth.
Actual plays and stuff. Yeah. So she's
I remember she had one that I did watch a couple of episodes a couple of years ago. Yeah, about 5 years ago, to be honest. Yeah.
It's only like 8 minutes long as well. It's a nice short little video.
That is quite quick.
It doesn't take it long. I mean, it's sort of like you sort of see Jon Bernthal click as he realises how it. You know, it's just like the veil lifts, and he's now I get what this is, and it doesn't take long. It's only like a minute or two in when he's like, and you can sort of see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
they don't
generally seem to get it when they're surrounded by other people who are all doing it. They're like, oh, okay. I guess I'll.
They don't actually play D&D because they don't have any dice with them.
No.
So what happens is they just kind of imagine the dice rolls. So he sort of says he's going to do something, and he goes, right, well, here you would roll a strength check. So let's say you rolled 13, right? I know 13 is quite good, and I know that. So I can say that you have managed to bash it all. It sort of works like that.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, that seems like a very good description of how lots of people run their games. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely worth a watch. We should stick a link in the show notes for that so people can check it out. But it's definitely worth a watch, that.
Yeah, that sounds good. I shall give that a watch.
Okay. Do you know what Welcome to Night Vale is?
Yes. I haven't really kept up with it, but I very much enjoyed the aesthetics of that podcast, where they have someone doing a creepy narration and reading out all sorts of strange news. Like weird stories. I remember they came to the UK been a minute. I don't, probably like 5-6 years ago, and we did mention it on this podcast at that time, and they absolutely sold out some stadium arena. Why? What's up then? They up to small shenanigans.
It's going to be a tabletop role-playing game. Welcome to Night Vale.
Oh, okay.
Coming to Backakit on October the 1st. And this is going to be using, Renegade Game Studios. G.I. Joe, Transformers, Power Rangers, My Little Pony. They made their Essence 20 system a year or two ago. They're going to be producing the game. It's coming to Kickstarter, not Kickstarter, Backakit, sorry. Beginning of October.
Yeah.
So this is kind of supernatural stuff in America. There's this desert town and stuff goes on.
Yeah. Night Vale in America.
Yeah. Using the Essence 20 system.
Yes. Are you familiar with the Essence 20 system?
I think we looked at it a couple of years ago or a year ago. But it's flown from my mind.
Okay.
I think we looked at it in Transformers. I think we had a look literally on the show, but I can't remember, to be honest.
It was clearly a deeply memorable event for both of us.
Yeah. Well, systems are systems, aren't they?
No offense to Essence 20. Yeah, we see a lot of role-playing systems. Probably had some sort of D20 in. I warrant.
Yeah.
Jack the Maleficent here. If, like me, you're enjoying this podcast, please consider subscribing on Patreon for exclusive bonus content every week and the warm, fuzzy feeling of knowing you are helping to keep the show going. Subscribe at patreon.com/Morrus. There, I said it. Can you stop staring at me like that now? The things I do. All right. Don't forget, patreon.com/Morrus. Can I go now?
Talking of role-playing systems, you know what I downloaded the other day?
Oh, yeah. What?
Because I'm avidly following the Brandon Sanderson Kickstarter.
Oh, good.
Which is flown past 7 million, still has 2 weeks to go.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah. It is doing incredible well. It is going to beat Avatar.
Oh,
without doubt.
Yeah.
There's
no two ways about
I can't see there's any way it could.
No. Unless they pull it, you know?
Yeah.
If they pull it,
something
it
really,
won't.
yeah.
It's going to have to be something majorly dramatic to stop that happening. I don't see that. But yeah, wow.
Well, but on the Kickstarter page, there's a link to Drive-Thru-RPG where you can download for free the beta rules preview.
Yeah.
Which is like 90 pages long.
Wow.
Fully laid out.
Yeah.
Not much art, just a few bits of black and white art in it, but fully laid out.
Yeah.
Basically, the core rules, some monsters,
and
and there's a separate adventure which I haven't looked at, which you can also download. So I've just looked at the core rules, but yeah, I've got them in front of me here, so I've glanced through it.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't read 90 pages of system, but I did read over 1,000 pages of Book 1 of the Stormlight Archives.
The novels, yeah.
Yes, well, the series, I mean, 1,000 pages for us, that is a ludicrous size for any book whatsoever. That is the sort of book where, even in paperback, you could just use it as, like, light armour.
It's a big old book.
Yeah, unfortunately I read it on Kindle, so my wrists were not unduly strained. By having
Your Kindle would not work as light armour.
My Kindle would not work as light armour, it would just shatter. But it is much lighter and even more portable, so there we go.
Yeah. So I don't know the setting. You know the setting then, because you've read the books. I've looked through the rule book, which doesn't really talk about the setting at all particularly. It's mainly the rules. I think there's a separate book for the setting stuff.
Would make sense, yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. This is basically a mishmash of games.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
That's all about. We like to say it's a melange rather than mishmash, but okay.
I mean, it's got a lot of 5e in it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
A lot of 5e DNA in it.
Right.
But it's got some Pathfinder DNA in it as well, in terms of the action economy and things like that. Oh, so it's interesting. I mean, the basic rules are you have your attributes, which aren't the same as D&D, but they're similar.
There's some attributes. Games have
strength,
attributes.
speed, intellect, something like that. Yeah. And they have a score from 0 to 9. Or is it 1 to 10? One of the two.
Okay, so
roll a d20.
Yeah.
Roll a d20, add that number for your check.
Okay.
So that's the basic. And then it has advantage and disadvantage, like 5e has.
It's a really good idea.
Yeah. Although it's slightly different. The advantage and disadvantage, like the advantage, when you are rolling, sometimes you'll roll additional dice.
Yes.
You get to choose which die you roll twice.
Okay.
I can't see why it wouldn't always be the d20, but I guess there's some nuances to it where you might not. I don't know.
I mean, it depends on how 13th age they go. If they say, hey, if you roll a 15 or 15 plus on that d20 or a 13 or something, exactly, then a special effect happens.
Well, they do this with something called plot dice, which add opportunities and complications. So what you can do, the GM can call...
That's kind of 7 Cs, really, I guess.
Yeah. So the GM can call for the plot die to be added to a roll.
Oh, okay.
Or you might have an ability that lets you do so in certain situations. But the players can't generally just say add a plot die. It's either, So it's a d6. 2 of the sides have an opportunity, 2 of the sides have a complication, and 2 of the sides have nothing, or blank.
Okay, sort of Genesis style, right?
Yeah, and it's got like shades of 2d20 in there as well, kind of, with their Doom and what's the other one?
Oh, you mean Modiphius's Star Trek system?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got the phaser damage dice and stuff, yeah.
And then you can basically spend your opportunity to do, it's a short range of things. So you can aid an ally with it, you can recover some focus, you can turn a hit into a critical hit, or you can change the narrative in a narrator-approved, a GM-approved way.
Oh, okay.
And a complication is basically the opposite of those things. So you can hinder an ally, you become distracted, or you can influence the narrative in a negative way.
Okay.
The GM's choice.
I see.
So that happens, and that's kind of the core system.
Okay.
You have a bunch of skills,
Right.
which have a score from 0 to 5.
Okay.
Which can also, if the skill comes into play, can be added to that die roll.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
if the skill, yeah.
This sounds like an opportunity to practice your quick thinking and ability to lever any skill into any situation.
Well, the skills are tied to specific attributes.
Okay. So,
very much so.
Right. So, you couldn't say use strength alchemy to hurl.
Exactly. Yeah. They're tied to. Yeah. I don't know if there's optional rules somewhere in the main rules that allow you to do that, but as presented in this beta PDF, they are tied to specific attributes.
Yeah.
But I'm noticing an awful lot of just D&D terminology. I mean, there's this specific beats general. It's literally a term that comes straight out of the D&D rulebook.
I mean, sure.
Phrased in that exact way,
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty lazy, but on the other hand, it is a really good way to describe it.
Yeah, but you sort of see it quite a bit, though. Terms are basically, I guess, just because it's using a lot of fairly robust things from other games that work.
Yeah.
It's not doing anything daring, ever, I don't think. But it looks kind of solid to me. A little clunky in places.
Yeah.
Movement rate is based on your speed ability, so that's one of your attributes is speed.
Right.
Which can be from 0 to 9.
Okay.
And then you look at a table, say your speed is 6.
Oh.
You then look at a table to find out that that's 40 feet per action.
I'm already checking out. Don't make me look at tables. Why would you do that?
It's why isn't that 6 squares? Or something? Because the number that you're using.
Yeah, no. Well, indeed, have a range from, 1 to 9. Although 1 square would be a bit rubbish.
Yeah, I mean, your attributes, you got your strength, which basically determines lifting capacity.
I mean, logical, yeah.
Yeah, speed determines how far you can move in an action. Willpower lets you recover health and focus.
Okay, yeah, that'd be important, yeah.
Yeah, intellect lets you, pretty standard intelligence ability that most games have.
Okay.
Awareness is perception. Presence is your charisma. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then you have a bunch of defences. You have 3 defences: physical, cognitive, and spiritual. And each of those are the total of 2 of your attributes, and that's the DC you roll against when you make an attack.
Yeah, saves on saving throws and other.
Yeah.
Reduces the number of steps, which does make a difference, and does speed things up. It becomes does this beat your X? Yes.
Yeah, so your physical defence, strength plus speed, basically. So you've got a strength of 5 and a speed of 6. Your physical defence is 11.
Yeah.
And then when someone attacks you...
Did they get 11 or higher?
D20 plus their thing, they need 11.
Yeah. Yeah, nice and simple.
It's fairly simple.
Yeah.
You roll the damage dice at the same time.
Yeah.
As your attack.
Is it a game with hit points, is what I want to know?
Yes, yeah, you do have health, and you have focus as well. Focus is kind of like a more sort of spiritual mental health, but you have a lot less of it, and you can spend it.
That would be very important for the magic system, and for things like wearing. I want to use the term piloting, but I suppose wearing is probably more accurate to the books. These suits of shard armor, which is basically Space Marine power armor with power swords and stuff, but they're powered by magic and storms. Yeah.
Yeah. What we got? We've got expertises in skills.
Start from level up. Shocking.
Yeah, no, it's just seeing a lot of things that are. It's the weapons list basically looks exactly like a D&D one.
Oh. Like, with damage
the weapon
dice?
name, damage, range, traits, weight, price.
Yeah.
And you've got a similar list of weapons as well.
Do the weapons have any traits?
The weapons have traits. They have traits and expert traits.
Okay.
So a staff, for example, has the two-handed and discreet traits.
Right, okay. You don't want
And
to
it has
deprive an
the-
old man of his staff,
Yeah, and it has the defensive expert trait.
so some sort of bonus to defending. Alright, yeah. Can't argue with that.
Yeah, so that's very D&D, that.
Yeah.
Very
yeah.
D&D.
Bit less good than, say, Baldur's Gate. But,
Yeah.
right.
Armour has a defect value, which is a soak value, basically. Reduces incoming damage.
Oh, sorry. Just, like, I understand what soak is, because I used to play games like the White Wolf stuff, like Vampire. Well, I didn't play Vampire that much, but I played Exalted. So I know what soak is. Not looking forward to having to try and explain that to people who've only played 5e. That is going to be an exciting time.
Yeah, but I think it's good when things do things differently to 5e.
yeah.
And it
nice,
just,
nice.
you know.
But yeah.
So 5e isn't the only one. Then, yeah, I look at the equipment. This just looks like the D&D one. Like a list of things like, you know, backpack, barrel, blanket, each with a weight and a price.
Right.
That's all fairly
And
exactly what you'd expect to see.
do you think, does it feel like there's going to be a strong survival element? By which
No.
I mean tracking rations.
It does,
Because I like survival in games, because I'm a big logistics nerd, same as Jessica. So we would probably be quite happy in a game where we plan stuff out. We're like, oh, well, we've got to make sure we've got enough rations. Oh, that's very important. Most people don't care.
Yeah, no,
So
I
I'm
don't
not
think so.
sure
any
this-
more so than 5e does.
Yeah,
I mean,
5e does not
like
care.
you can do it, but by default you probably aren't going to.
The cost benefit does not work out. It adds a lot of drag to your game to do it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, yeah. Obviously.
Well, then we move on to like a conditions list, which is again it looks very 5e.
Like, conditions are going to be in most
slowed,
games.
stunned, restrained, immobilized.
Okay,
you know,
that is super
prone.
5e. Okay.
Yeah, it's got a few different. It's got a few different ones. Empowered.
I was trying to defend
enhanced.
them. Then you read out the list of 5e conditions. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
We got a tracked exhaustion, which increases by 1 each time you gain this condition.
Okay.
We got damage and damage types.
Oh, no.
You know, you go 1d4 impact damage or something.
Impact. Okay. Why not?
Yeah.
At least
Yeah.
it's not bludgeoning.
Yeah.
Short as a spell, so it like
We've
takes
got
up the
short
space.
and long rests.
Okay.
Short rest is an hour, a long rest is 8 hours.
What? That's
Yeah.
visionaries. sorry. I feel like I'm being a worse person than what you said.
Do you know what I mean? That's what I meant. Everything in here just feels like they've taken stuff that kind of works from other games.
Yeah.
And sort of mold them, and it seems to have moulded them together in quite a sturdy, robust way, as far as I can make out.
Good job there.
It doesn't feel like a hodgepodge, but you do, as you do see things like, oh yeah, I recognise that from, and you see that a lot.
I mean, if they put it together and it's smooth, then who cares?
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
As long as everyone's credited, that's my thing.
Yeah. I think the biggest diversion is when you get into combat and the action economy. Where I can see it's kind of borrowing from Pathfinder a little bit in that things take 1, 2, or 3 actions, or are a free action.
I mean, I am really conflicted because at one and the same time, it's a brilliant and a terrible idea. Like, in terms of game design, I think it's brilliant. Like, I really think, I will honestly say, Pathfinder is just better design than so many other games out there. It's just really well put together. But then it's like, then it comes into conflict with how people play these games. And it's like, it's like the closest thing you have to worry about that is how many swords can you draw in D&D? Like with Pathfinder, it's like, you want to do something cool? Well, it's an action destroy sword, it's an action totem door, and it's an action set through. Good job, your turn's done now.
But some people like that sort of thing, you know.
Some people do like that sort of thing. And are they the same people as will like this game? We don't know, we'll find out.
Well, it's slightly different to Pathfinder. So you got 3 actions, and each thing costs 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah.
So your
Which is
actions
a
are
good
things
idea.
like brace, disengage, gain advantage, interact, move, strike, use a skill, grapple, ready, recover, shove, banter, drop, aid, dodge, stuff. You also get a
RPG stuff, yeah.
You get a reaction each round as well. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
what?
yeah.
Like it. Your reaction is fine. Yeah.
But this is interesting though.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of a turn, you decide whether you want to go fast or slow.
Okay.
If you go fast,
yes,
you get 2 actions. If you go slow, you get 3 actions.
Oh.
But everyone who goes fast goes before everyone that goes slow.
Fair. That reminds me, I've seen that somewhere, but anyway, crack on.
Well, it starts with fast PCs, then fast NPCs, then slow PCs, then slow NPCs.
Okay.
And then you go back to the start again for the next round.
All right.
So I think I'd have to see that in play. Like, just on the face of it, I kind of like that, but I'd have to see it in play. Whether it's a mechanic for mechanic's sake, or whether it actually really does work smoothly in play.
I don't know. It's like going first is a big advantage. Like, but if you've got something that needs 3 actions to do, then going slow is good, I guess.
Yeah. Basically.
I don't know. I feel like fast will end up being the default unless you've got a compelling reason to go slow. Because otherwise, one, you have to wait forever for your turn to come around, and 2, whatever you're trying to do slow might not even apply by the time.
Well, there aren't any actions that take 3 actions.
There aren't any actions that take 3 actions.
No, so you'd be doing a 1 actioner and a 2 actioner.
Right, fair enough.
So shove is a 2 actioner and move is a 1, so you could like run at someone and shove them with 3 actions, for example.
It takes 2 actions to shove someone.
It's 2 to shove someone, but 1 just to whack them with a strike.
Okay. Sure, why not?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I was it that way, but no one else me, and that's okay.
Yeah, then I'm looking through a chapter here just on sizes and space they take up on the map, and forced movement and falling and terrain and difficult terrain.
And what do things are at different heights? What then?
Well, it's probably there.
Maybe, yeah.
Cover, difficult terrain, dangerous terrain. I don't think it is, actually.
Yeah.
I've missed it. It probably is there.
That's one of the classic questions in 5e where the answer is, well, we don't bother with vertical height, we just track. If you want to know the range, you just track the horizontal distance, which is very unsatisfying. But otherwise, you have to do Pythagoras, and who wants to do that?
Yeah. And then what we got? Then we got a chapter on game mastering.
Yeah.
Just general advice on game mastering, plus some stuff about the campaign setting.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots to like.
And then we've got safety tools, lines and veils, stuff like that on there in the book. Break and just advice on just like breaks and stuff.
Yeah. Well, taking them.
Yeah,
that's a good idea. Actually, I recommend that to newer DMs in my logistical.
I mean, it's literally just 3 lines. It just sometimes take a break if you get hungry. I mean, it doesn't say much.
I think planning breaks in is a good idea because it's easy to ignore it, but I think your game does suffer if you don't take breaks every so often. Yeah.
And it's got 2 pages talking about marginalisation.
Yeah, I can see that would be quite relevant.
Yeah, so, but it's about... It says discrimination is a major theme in the Stormlight Archive. I mean, you've read it, I haven't. You know.
But I haven't read the whole Stormlight Archives. It's 5,000 pages of book, Russ.
Fair enough.
I've read the first 20%, if that. Okay. I don't have the prequel stuff and all the other things that's supposed to go around for the Cosmere role-playing system.
Yeah.
I've read the first book of the Mistborn as well.
Yeah. So there's 2 pages talking about including marginalisation responsibly, and then there's just 2 pages talking about how... 3 pages.
Okay.
So it goes over at another page.
Any top tips that spring out?
Designate space, topics to consider including abuse, asexuality, classism, disability, discrimination based on eye shade? Is that a campaign-specific thing?
That would be the Stormlight Archives, where the people in charge have light eyes, and the people who do all the work have dark eyes.
Fair enough, okay. Yeah. Gender identity, gender roles, gore, horror, intimacy, language, mental illness, speciesism, and singers. I don't know what that means.
Singers, maybe that's a Parshindy thing.
Singers are the indigenous people of Rosha. Oh, okay. They're a species. Oh, gosh, okay.
Yeah.
Sexuality and slavery are the topics it covers.
Yeah. Like I say, the side you're supposed to be rooting for in this book is a casteist society that discriminates based on class. It's got like a fair amount of sexism built in, and they are also very proud of their slave-owning traditions. You can see why I might not be getting on 100% well with it. Because I'm like, those sound like excellent antagonists. Oh, wait. I seem to be seeing these things from their point of view a lot. Oh dear. Yeah. I mean, by the end of the... By like page about 750, it does pick up, and by page 900, I'm like, okay, this is getting quite exciting. So yeah. I'm not saying I won't give book 2 a go, but yeah, it's... I'm told it has excellent disability representation. I look forward to seeing more of that.
Okay. I probably won't ever get round to it, I don't think. It seems too intimidating to me.
It's just a...
I know that's just a psychological thing. I know it's ridiculous. Anyway, back to this beta thing.
You said something about crabs. Tell me more of the crabs.
Well, they haven't mentioned it yet. We're into the adversaries section now, which is the last 20 pages of the book. And these are a lot of stat blocks that look a lot like D&D stat blocks.
Would you
steal
them?
A lot like them.
Would you steal them?
Would I steal them?
Yeah, to use in your game.
You couldn't use it directly. I'm just saying, like, aesthetically, they look a lot like them. They're like laid out very similar. Like, you start off with like a box with ability scores, attributes at the top. Then you've got your movement and senses below. Then you got your traits, and then you got your actions.
I mean, it's got hit points. It's got some sort of attack bonus.
Yeah,
give it a go. Got damaged dice. What's going on?
Let's having a look through these monsters. You wonder if there are any crabs in there. Okay, what would they be called? Would they be called crabs?
Look up chasm theme.
They've got chull.
Yeah, those are like sort of... I got the impression of like giant pillbugs that pulled wagons, but they might just be more crabs.
Massive crustaceans, it says.
Oh, yeah.
I can't see any more crabs.
Chasm themed.
So, yeah, that would have been before chull. Swarm of gremlings.
Kremlins?
Kremlings or gremlings?
With a C, yes.
I can't tell with this font whether that's a G or a C.
It's a C.
Okay. Swarm of kremlings.
Okay.
Is that they look like crabby things?
Oh, okay. Yeah, like they get mentioned occasionally, but creme is also a term, which seems to be the euphemism for poo.
Yeah. There's only a dozen or so monsters in here. There's not a lot.
Yeah. What about Spren? S-P-R-E-N.
No. Now, I'll give you the list, because like I said, there's only a dozen. So we've got Axehound.
Yeah.
We've got Bandit. We've got Chull. We've got Commoner and Expert as subsets of Citizen. We've got a Stormform Regal.
Okay.
Which has a black and white picture of someone with lightning coming and hair flowing in the wind.
Your guess is as good as mine.
We've got a Warform Singer, a Nimbleform Singer. We've got some soldiers, the Spear Infantry and Archer.
Right, yeah.
A Thrill Berserker, Swarm of Gremlings. And that's the monsters.
Yeah.
And then at the end, we've got a big long list of alpha playtesters.
Oh, lovely.
No mention of any license or anything, but I guess it's a beta playtest document.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, it's black and white. It's laid out well. It's very tidy, but it's black and white, 2 columns. Well, blue and white, 2 columns, and the odd bit of black and white art here and there.
Yeah, but I mean, they're not short of a bob or two. I'm glad they can afford a decent layout artist. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's solid. It's solid layout. It's not flashy layout, but it's solid. Yeah. I mean, it's a beta document, though. I mean, how much time are they going to spend making it look like the player's handbook?
Okay. So far, so good.
Yeah, and that's it. That's the thing. That's the whole thing. There is an adventure that you can also download. I haven't looked at it yet, though. So or even downloaded it. And that's also free.
Yeah.
So you can check that out as well.
Always good to know. Yeah. So it feels like you're not dreadfully excited about grabbing it and starting playtesting it.
Well, the thing with it is, I'm not familiar with the setting at all, as you know.
Yeah.
The system looks solid and robust to me. There's nothing that excites me about it. I kind of feel like they could have used any system, to be honest. Any sort of mid-fantasy basic system would have worked.
Like Age.
Fine.
Even Medievius, maybe. Yeah.
I could have just used 5e, to be honest. I mean, it's got so much borrowed from it.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure why a new system is needed, but I mean, they may have done stuff with like magic and stuff that I don't know that aren't in that book, or all sorts of things.
Yeah, I think magic is probably where it's going to differ a lot, because it's... if they do spell slots and other tropes of fantasy and casting, then there will be an uprising.
Yeah. So I imagine elsewhere there's going to be deviations, but from there I can't see a particular reason why you wouldn't have just used Pathfinder or 5e.
Or even
for what I saw.
Yeah, Pathfinder, yeah.
But, both accomplish the same goal.
Yeah.
From what I saw. With the same kind of feel, so.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's solid. It's a good, solid looking system. I haven't tried it, obviously. I don't, that action economy, I like the look of it. It aesthetically appeals to me.
Yeah.
It feels, the rule system feels elegant.
Yeah.
Although not new. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think it's leaning a lot on familiarity and using existing cues.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what a monster stat block looks like in 5e.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
you know what condition is. You know what and stuff like that. It's got a lot of that. And there are a few clunky bits, like consulting a table to work out your speed, rather than just using the number.
Yeah. But presumably they've got a reason for that, because stuff came up. Maybe they'll take it out with Beta.
I mean, it's a playtest, isn't it? That's what it's for. To find the clunky bits.
Yeah.
And now people might turn around and say, no, it's much better if you just say speed 6, it means you move 6 squares, or whatever, rather than converting it to 40.
Yeah. Converting it to 40 feet, yeah.
Yeah.
They've probably got some sort of rationale. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, that's that. That's done.
Alrighty.
I have no more to say about that topic.
Excellent. Yes.
It is definitely going to beat Avatar. It's going to do like 12.
So much better.
12. My guess is 12.
You don't think as high as Jess's 20?
It's not going to do 20.
Well, I've got 14 in my head for some reason. 12. I'm going to say 14 million.
I'm going to say 12.
Okay.
It's going to do 12.
Cool.
That's my guess.
13.1 I win.
Yeah.
A fantastic achievement. Very good show. How many backers does it have? We haven't compared it to an army yet lately.
Oh, did you want to?
Russell.
You do want to?
I do want to.
Okay. Cosmere, let's call it up. Kickstarter. How many backers does it currently have? It has got 27,100 backers.
Oh.
$7.9 million. It's about to hit 8 million.
27,000 how many?
27,100.
Oh, okay. So that's putting it roughly between Tanzania and Portugal.
Okay, then.
There you go. What? You got a literal army of backers. I need people to have some context.
I don't think this army of backers is willing to bear arms and go to war.
I don't know, Russ. I wouldn't try them.
Well, yeah. Like 3,000 of them, mm-hmm. The most they were prepared to do was pledge $1.
Yeah, fair enough.
Which isn't quite taking out arms and marching to war, is it?
I don't know. But by my count, that still leaves about 18,000 people, at least a significant number of whom have, like, we've got like $7 million so far, and we're looking at $13 to $14 million.
Get this though, Peter. 10,000 backers, 10,044 backers, have pledged for the $385 bundle, which is the full game.
Good Lord. That is some hardcore
10,000 of them. Yeah. And 8,000 have done the $295 bundle. I mean, this is not a cheap game. It's not cheap. The average pledge level is high.
Yeah. Which is why Well, I suppose people have got money for it, so why not?
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Yeah. Right, have we got any more news?
I've got something related, which is possibly of interest to listeners, especially our artist friends. I think there's probably one main story that listeners will be quite interested in, which is probably the whole Apple Patreon row. But before we get onto that, maybe just have a quick update on generative AI.
Okay.
Yeah. Stable Diffusion looks like they're having a terrible time. They would love to settle, but it looks like they're going to have to go to court to defend themselves from potential copyright infringement.
Ooh, who's suing them?
Someone called Sarah Anderson. There's a copy of a 33-page filing that went in 12th of August, and it appears to have been allowed to go ahead. Like the DMCA has been defense. I'm not a lawyer. I barely understand what I'm looking at. But I'm told this is the biggest copyright infringement and trade dress case ever. So, Yeah, I wonder if that's Sarah Anderson, the cartoonist. It could well be, actually. Yeah, so they're having a go, and I don't blame them. So,
Yeah. I think legislation is going to catch up with generative AI. It's just taking its time. I think it is going to happen. But I think what the problem is,
there's a big rush to get it normalised.
Is it's all just going to be in places where the legislation doesn't reach. You know, countries which haven't enacted such laws. So, you know, like China, for example, has a lot of copyright infringement and just pretty much ignores a lot of that sort of stuff. I think they'll just carry on doing it, and
like it could well be a problem unless someone makes a convincing argument to the Chinese government that they should respect the laws in this particular case.
Well, they haven't done with general copyright, so
yeah. I guess probably the major difference is it is incredibly expensive to make AI stuff, which we don't know about. It's all covered by people throwing absolutely tons of money at it, but computational power, electricity, water, because this is very, very difficult things that it's doing, and it's like spending a lot of energy to do what a drunken art school grad could do with a hangover on a Friday morning. But it's still doing them, and it's getting an effect. But it's like I don't see the percentage if China has to pay for it all. Like a Chinese forger would have to pay for it all themselves, or they could just pay a guy to do it.
I don't know.
And paying a guy to do it does seem quite strong.
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to just wait and see, I guess.
Yeah. We all have to wait and see. But yeah,
I think the most powerful thing that would work is if there was some just kind of major public backlash against it. Yeah. And you kind of, you know, given the industry we work in, it does feel like there is one. But then you go and look elsewhere, and
people don't know about it.
Yeah, like people will just think, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah.
You know, and
that's weird. Why do they have 6 fingers?
I kind of think we who like have ethical problems with it are a minority. I think like 99% of people just don't
think about it. Yeah,
don't think about it. Yeah, and they'll just go ahead and use it because it seems cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely that's the thing at the moment. It is a cheap tool, and there is a lot of money being spent to try and get it normalised and get it everywhere. But the thing is, this money is based on the idea of a return on investment, right? Like, it's get it everywhere, and then when people start using it, then we can start charging for it.
Yeah.
And I will say that the absolute best technology in the world, all the best stuff I've ever used, very rarely has it been bundled onto my computer and my phone has an update without my say-so or my requesting it. Whereas that's very much how AI is. It's like they're just forcing it onto my phone.
They're all doing it, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, does this look like a good... Like, I'm just like, regardless of anything else, regardless of what you think, it's like...
There are...
Is that...
You know, there are more ethical uses of AI, of course.
Or
AI
or generative AI. Because I feel like...
AI, yeah.
Yeah,
so something that's just summarising your emails of the day for you is very much different to something that's writing something for you.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but like again, I'm reading reports of generative AI doesn't even summarise properly; it just makes it shorter.
So you were going to talk about Patreon as well. You mentioned.
I certainly have noticed. I don't have a Patreon myself, but I know a lot of our listeners will probably have Patreons because it does seem like the primary way that the creative arts are getting funded by kind patrons giving artists money, which is a time-honoured tradition at least. And Patreon being a platform that, for a cut, transfers this money from patrons to the artists without having to do direct bank transfers.
Yeah, it basically lets you subscribe to a creator, and the creator gives you stuff.
Yeah. Access to archives, or you can do all sorts of things, different levels and so forth. But
it's like Kickstarter for subscriptions.
So it's a good idea, but they do seem intent on making life more difficult for their customers. Both artists and like their punters who are paying them. Like this latest news from Apple is wow! We're talking about a lot of money because Patreon will take a cut, and then Apple's like, and if you subscribe through the app, we're going to take 30%.
Yeah, I mean 30% is Apple's standard cut on any transactions made, and I don't quite understand how Patreon wasn't already paying that because I was under the impression that every app always has had to pay 30%.
Right.
It's like if you sell something through DriveThru RPG, you're going to give DriveThru RPG 35% or whatever. If you sell something through
the App Store,
Apple's App Store, you're going to give Apple 30%. So that's that's kind of standard. What I don't understand is how Patreon wasn't already doing that.
Yeah.
Somehow they got away with it, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, Apple has been in trouble about this. The EU has given them a very hard time because Apple was preventing creators, from saying, by the way, there are cheaper ways you can get our products without this 30% markup that Apple charges by going elsewhere.
Yeah, alternative app stores, basically, which Apple, up until recently, prohibited.
Yes, which, it's, like I said, the EU was like, that's very anti-competitive, you're going to stop that. And they're like, never! And then they got a massive fine.
But,
Sorry.
From Patreon, so basically, what's going to happen is now, Patreon is now having to pay Apple 30% of anything that they sell.
I think Patreon has to pay for new customers, isn't it? Or is this just Patreon?
I don't know whether it'll be new customers or old customers. I don't know that enough in detail. But what that basically means is that for transactions, I mean, this doesn't apply to all transactions, only the ones that go through the Apple App Store.
Yeah.
But and I didn't even realise there was a Patreon app that you could do that with, so I don't know how common it's used.
Right.
But either the creators are going to have to charge an extra 30%,
or
take a 30% hit to their income.
It's a lot of money per donation.
Yeah, because obviously Patreon's going to pass that on. It's not going to cover that 30% for you, is it?
No.
It's he's going to pass it straight on to us. So I don't know. I mean, it depends what percentage of people actually use that.
I think a lot of people who are using Apple do tend to go through the Apple Store, Apple Apps. Here's a wall
I just don't know how many people use Patreon. Because I don't. I just use it through web browser.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at, because I run, I don't run them, people run them for me, but 2 or 3 different Patreons.
Yeah.
Okay, Plus Gazette, Insider and stuff. I'm just going to have a look and see if there's anything on here that tells me, I'm just looking at Gate Plus Gazette right now, what percentage of people use what platform to access it. I don't think it does, though. I don't think it tells me that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any way I can find that. So I don't really know whether that's going to affect a lot of people, a few people. There's no way to insights. Short earnings, post surveys, traffic, total visits, sources. Oh, okay. Yeah. It doesn't, in the list of sources, it doesn't even mention Apple App Store there. So it might be that it's a very small number of people, but I don't know.
Right, okay. Well, I mean, there was a little thread that was posted on Blue Sky by Caleb Stokes, who, similar listeners may know, has been the owner of Heaven Games, which has done a lot with Delta Green Dead. He does stuff on a pay-per-creation model, where people pay $5 per post, and he tries to post about, say, twice a month,
Yeah, that's what we do with Insider, pay-per-creation. That's another issue as well, because Patreon's ending that separately. So,
yeah, I think they're using it as a cover sort of thing, because they've not liked it for a while.
I don't know how you switch from that to a subscription.
Yeah.
Because basically you're going to have to get people to re-sign up.
Yeah.
If you have to get all of your patrons to re-sign up, you're going to lose half of them.
Oh, at least.
Guaranteed.
100%, yeah. Like that.
Just people just won't bother.
Yeah.
So I think that is going to kill... I mean, Insider's going to be in trouble.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because the margin on that isn't massive. If we lost half of our revenue on that, it's no longer viable.
Ooh, wow. How's that how things happen? Yeah.
Yeah, no, we've got to pay, Mike to edit it and manage it. We've got to pay the artists, the writers.
Yeah.
Got
to get laid out. Yeah, there's a lot of... It's a full magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a full analysis where he's talking about his figures, and he's like at the top Patreon creators. It's got 650 people paying him, and last month that means he made about $2,200. So out of those 650 paying customers, only 345 out of that 650 are matching or exceeding the $5 price per post.
Right.
So a lot of them are paying less.
Yeah.
If he if there's a $5 a month subscription, as opposed to per creation, then immediately he loses half the money. And if he switches over to a $10 subscription, then you're going to have $5 per creation back at us who are like, wow, $10? Absolutely not. And they're going to bail. And yeah.
I think it's going to be a big problem, yeah. I don't know.
And new Apple subscribers, if they're paying for the app, are going to have to pay $14 a month to compensate for the new fees. So it's like, I mean, if you like someone enough to pay $5 a month, that's one thing. But $14 a month? I mean, what you do? You buy them a Starbucks every time? Goodness. Yeah, shifting to monthly fees looks like Harvey's potential source of income and halves his subscribers, because there's people who pay at the $1 to $2 per month levels, and he loses all them. So, yeah. Without small money per creation subscribers, his account would be down, he reckons, about $17,000 over the lifetime of the child, which is a 21% loss of earnings before factoring in anything else. And that's based off his total Patreon subscribers ever. So, yeah, he's pretty unhappy about it.
Yeah.
And rightly so.
It's really annoying that these two things are happening at the same time.
Well, Patreon doesn't like it. I mean, essentially, Patreon's been bought by venture capitalists, and they're looking to make their money and sell. Because, yeah, that's what they do. It's like every time you see it happen in industry, I think, who was it? Was it Applebee's? There's some American chain, and they had unlimited shrimp, and they went bust recently, and people were like, ho, 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 serves you right for doing unlimited shrimp. And they missed all the small print, which is that they sold all of the properties that they owned and then made them rent them back, which is obviously terrible for your business, but looks really good in the balance sheet when you're selling it off. But,
yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, something might change. I don't know, but if it doesn't, I think it's going to be bad news for a lot of.
I think it's already pretty terrible news for a lot of creators, but yeah, and it's really bad news for Apple subscribers. So yeah, there you go. If you're using Apple apps to pay for stuff, then you're paying more money.
I would just say if you are on a Patreon via the Patreon Apple app, just switch over to the web browser. Yeah. Just do it there instead. Well,
I mean, if it, I don't think it's very common knowledge that they're charging 30% to everyone. I will say it's a bit of a no-brainer. You're going to have to charge Apple users who are coming through the Apple Store more money for your stuff.
Yeah, that's how Apple makes a lot of its money.
Yeah. I know, but I just say, if you're an Apple user, you're paying more money because Apple's taking 30%, and that is factored into the cost of the...
I don't think that's necessarily a problem. Any more than Drive-Thru RPG taking at 30% is a problem. If they are a sales platform, it's when they're a monopoly, it's a problem. When you haven't got a choice.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you've got a choice between going for the Apple Store and going a different way, you should go a different way. You'll pay more.
Yeah, you'll pay less.
I apologise if I was not clear on that point. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, talking of other things that aren't necessarily great for customers, there's a bit of a thing going on between Free League and the Alchemy platform.
Who are Alchemy?
Virtual Tabletop.
Okay. What's going on there?
So they sent out a special announcement this week.
Oh, yeah.
Which basically is to everyone who had purchased an Alchemy module from Free League Publishing.
Okay.
Either on the Alchemy Marketplace, on a recent Alchemy Humble Bundle, or a Kickstarter, or any other promotion. If you've bought a Free League module via Alchemy, they sent this out to you.
Yeah.
And basically what they're saying is, up until this point, you've been able to download a PDF version of the title you've purchased. Okay. So obviously they're not a PDF platform, but they also offered a PDF version of the title you purchased.
Yeah.
Apparently Free League have notified them that they no longer want them to do that.
Okay.
And they've given them 7 days.
Okay, wow.
So the download options could be disabled on Wednesday, August the 21st.
Okay, right.
So if you want a PDF copy of anything you've purchased from Alchemy, you've got to download it now, because after next Wednesday you won't be able to.
So if you downloaded something from Free League Publishing through Alchemy...
Specifically, And
today is Thursday, 22nd of August 2024 or later, and you haven't already downloaded it, well, that's hard cheese, mate. Wow. Okay. Any word from Free League as to why they suddenly turned Raven?
Not yet. I mean, bear in mind, you still have access to the Alchemy module.
Yeah.
It's just the... and they kind of... the PDF was a kind of like free side benefit perk. It wasn't the actual thing.
Yeah.
But even so.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you'll get your Alchemy content, but you won't get any more. I guess. Okay. Well, I guess that explains why Free League are kicking out, because they're like, actually, that's money that we want to be getting by selling people RPGs. Double dip.
Yes. But there was this Humble Bundle recently.
Mm.
An Alchemy Humble Bundle.
Eek.
And that included a whole load of Free League PDFs.
Ooh.
And I know quite a lot of people did actually buy it for the PDFs. They didn't really care about the Alchemy. You know, it was like, but I get the PDF, so I'm going to do that. Yeah, so quite a lot of people did that. They, unless they download it in the next few days, won't have access to those PDFs.
Wow. Okay.
I think there's speculation, because Free League really haven't said anything.
Yeah.
Free League didn't really realise that Alchemy was giving away PDFs. This is kind of speculation.
Oh, okay.
And it was the Humble Bundle that basically brought it to their attention when they realised loads and loads of people were basically buying their PDFs from Alchemy, not from them.
Massive surge in PDFs downloads, 0% increase in money into the company. I guess. I mean, wow. That's going to be a lot.
It would be interesting to see
people.
what Free League says, but they haven't said anything, so I don't know what their stance on it is.
God, that's gracious, mate.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm looking through this thread to see if anyone's reported Free League has said anything. Doesn't look like Free League said a word.
Right.
So I don't 100% know what is going on there.
Oof. Yeah, well, I guess if you're listening to it, you still got time, then go and get your PDFs.
Yeah, get that out now, because after next Wednesday, you can't.
Right. Any news on potential recourse, or is it all just a case of hard cheese?
Literally, the only information out there is that one announcement by Alchemy and silence from Free League, so nobody knows.
Okay. Wow.
Nobody knows.
Wow. Customers catching it in the shorts. It's always a good luck for the games industry.
Yeah. It's kind of like, this whole people being able to take away things that you've bought.
Yeah, that is like, Amazon can just buy you from any books you bought on Kindle. They could just remove all your stuff because you're not buying it, despite the button saying buy. It doesn't say rent for an unspecified period. It says buy. And it's like, nah, I don't need it.
Yeah. I think like people really do need to realise that whenever you're getting something from a platform, unless you are backing it up locally, you are renting it.
Oof, yeah.
Because even with no ill will, nothing lasts forever. No platform lasts forever. That whatever platform that you are accessing your content by, will not last forever.
I understand what you're saying. That's not an unreasonable attitude, but I feel there is a qualitative difference between, say, a PDF, which isn't DRM locked, that you can download, keep locally. That's fine. It's like, if there's a platform that looks like it's going, if like there was like some video service, I downloaded a bunch of stuff from them and I didn't back up, and I went back and found, they've gone out of business, I'd be like, you know what, that's my fault. But this is more, this is a different case, I feel.
Because they're doing two things here. Yeah. One is selling you a thing, and one is hosting that thing for you.
Yes, yeah. Okay.
Assuming you have the ability to back it up yourself, you should, because the expectation that someone will host your content for you that you've bought in perpetuity until the heat death of the universe is an unreasonable expectation. Yeah. It's going to go away at some point. It has to. Yeah. So
you would like to think that there'd be some sort of notice, but it's like not a bad shout. But again, I feel this is a qualitative difference where it's like they're just arbitrarily deciding, actually no, and importantly, it wasn't put beforehand. It doesn't feel fair. And there are some people say, what's fair? It's like everything, because there's a massive imbalance of power between a huge corporation and a private consumer. If you somehow ended up with their goods without paying for it, then they could sue you, because I guess that's stealing, and their property rights are protected. Whereas where are your property rights? How are they being protected? I'm pretty sure, in America, they're pretty keen on property rights. They're very firm on this. Yeah.
Don't know. That's basically two news items in a row where it's basically a company forcing something onto another company which affects that company's customers in a negative way.
Yeah. All told, it's like it really feels like there's just not communication going on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, bear in mind, we literally only have Alchemy's side of the story. We haven't heard Friedrich's side of the story, and they haven't said anything. So,
well, we could indulge in baseless speculation, but that's what it would be. Let's not.
that's not like us, is it?
Well,
Yeah.
Sometimes our speculation has basis. Yeah. Anything else on the news?
We mentioned the Dragonlance books last week.
Oh, yeah. Exciting.
This is
coming
really
2026. Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't really news. It's more about what I'm reading at the moment. But so I decided it spurred me to revisit the recent Dragonlance trilogy.
The recent
Dragons of Deceit.
Right.
Because I read Dragons of Deceit, and then I started the next one, and then stopped. I never went back to it. Not because I hated it or anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just stop and you just forget about it.
Yeah.
So I went back to it today. What's the second one called? Dragons of Fate? Is that the third one? Or was that the second one?
I don't know.
The second one's Dragons of Fate.
I haven't actually read them because I'm waiting for you to say, hey, Peter, here's a copy of this really good book. You should read it.
Well, I've got it on Audible. When I say read, I'm listening to it.
Oh, excellent. It's excellent. Yeah.
The second one, Dragons of Fate, I'm really enjoying much more than the first one.
Nice.
I am only halfway through it.
Yeah.
And I have been spoilt that there is some kind of major twist at the end, but I don't know what that twist is. So I'm avidly avoiding any discussion of it online. Because it's a year-old book at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm not reading any reviews or anything. I'm really quite enjoying it, though.
Lovely. That sounds really good. Yeah.
Yeah. And the third one is already out. So once I finish this, I'm definitely probably, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. I'll move on to book 3 and get some
Move on to book 3, yeah.
That sounds pretty awesome. I'm actually reading stuff about supervillains at the moment. I've been on a real supervillain kick. I started reading one book, and I just went into Soon I Will Be Invincible by Grossman, Hench by Natalie Walshop Cinch, I think it is. I can't remember her name, but it's Hench. It's such a... I really should remember her name because I really like her writing. So good. There's a chap called Drew Hayes who lives in Texas, and he does absolute bangers of books. If you're listening on Audible, then they've got some actual, when they get a whole group of people to do a little stage play.
Yeah.
Yeah, his Superpowered series is amazing. Very much recommend that. It's so there's this villains code stuff. It's some of his best writing. The man's written about 20, 25 books. And I'm really loving it. And then it's just it's sort of as addictive as comics can be, but in the written word. So yeah, I'm having a great time reading the long-awaited third book. So yeah.
Good. Yeah. All right, I think we might be done.
Yeah. Let's take a fork in this podcast. It is done.
Yeah. We managed to find stuff to talk about in the end.
Yeah. Not too bad. Good stuff.
Yeah. That worked out. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Next week is going to be all Shadow Darky. And Jess will be back.
Yes, with the glamorous Kelsey Dion.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the week after that, I believe we've got the man himself from Alligator Alley Entertainment, Rich LeScouflair.
Yes.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
A couple of weeks with guests. That'll be fun.
Yeah. What's he talking about? Do we know?
Fantasy Star with a PH. Brand new
tabletop RPG. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I shall look forward to hearing more from them. Groovy.
Right. Well, anyway, on that note, let's go and have our weekend. Let's get out of here.
Yay! Bye-bye.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Apparently, I now have to read this to you. This is the official podcast of Morris's unofficial tabletop RPG news, which you can find at enworld.org. You can find show notes at morris.podbean.com or wherever you found the podcast. If you feel like they deserve it, you can support the show on Patreon. In return, you will receive exclusive bonus content. Just go to patreon.com/Morris. If you're interested in his babbling nonsense, you can follow at Morris on the Twitter. Send your emails to morrispodcast@gmail.com. Not all of your emails, just the ones you want us to see. That's it. I'm bored now. You can go away. Shoo, off you go. Goodbye. Get out of here.
I think you mentioned that
I am being dogged.
You are being dogged.
I am being dogged. Hello, Marvin. How can I help you?
Big.
No, you can't be on the podcast.
If you wanted.
I know. It's boring when I'm doing podcasts, isn't it? You don't like it when I do it.
Oh, there one comes. There comes
dear.
another.
Oh, the other one's coming. Hudson's coming on the other side. No. 2 is too much. 2 is too much.
Russ,
Come on, calm down, you two. No. Right, anyway.